All praise and honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that great millstone that roll well. And shalom and blessings to the hopeful elect Akim. I wanted to go into these massive protests that have been happening across the planet at an alarming exponential rate over the last several years, which is indeed an indication of this place's fucking downfall. These protests of what you have are the people vocalizing their dissatisfaction with this fucking place, with the way the system is being run by the elites. It's basically centered around the extraction of resources of the people. Okay, complete fucking slavery, and it's going to escalate and culminate, which means peak out in these people going at each other's fucking throats. First and foremost, going to the jugulars of them that are in power. Alright, the kings and princes, government officials, fucking politicians, lawmakers, the DA's offices, alright, law enforcement. They're gonna go for the jugulars of them that are in authority in society. And then when there's nobody left, they're gonna kill each other. And it's a perfect setup by Yahweh Shem Yahushai to phase this fucking queendom out, which is a globally run hegemony, a global empire of Esau Edom. Okay, we're watching and witnessing the downfall of this fucking place. When you go into 2023 last year, it was deemed the year of the protests, man. You had massive demonstrations going on across the fucking planet. And the same is the case for this year. So start off with a fucking bang. Nothing but protests. Millions upon potentially billions of people that are going against the government to say we're not going to fucking stand for this fuckery that's going down with the people. All right, and we know the agendas of the elites, that you will own nothing and be happy. All right, they want to increase the squeeze on you fucking people, and that's going into this man's draconian law that he's in the processes of establishing. All right, this is an article from Al Jazeera. These ones we're going to focus on are across Europe. It says, why are farmers protesting across Europe? Demonstrators are denouncing EU policies that they say could drive them out of business. Okay, so it's going into these people's welfare. They're protesting this fucking system because the things that have been put in place, the different laws and measures that have been implemented, are not for the interests of the people. Okay, it's further affecting their livelihood and their welfare. And once he's like playing with a motherfucker's money, he's like playing with his emotions. Even worse, it's playing with his ability to feed himself and provide for his fucking family. And if you get cross over into that realm, it's fucking war. It's an act of war. You're preventing a man or limiting his ability to provide for him and his family. Okay. Various farmers across the European Union are driving their protests home to their country's leaders. They say EU policies which national governments must enforce could put many of them out of business, and more demonstrations are planned in their revolt against high costs, EU climate change policies, food imports, and support for Ukraine. Okay? So these people are eventually they're not gonna stand for this shit. It's in the minds of the people, but primarily it's in the mind of the Most High for this thing to fucking go down. So he's gonna turn that spirit up in his creation, understanding that every last one of his, um, every last fucking person with a pulse down here is subject to the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay, every fucking thing, but right, going into the pinnacle of the Most High's creation down here, mankind, everything with a fucking pulse is subject to the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. And this is an element of the Most High pouring his flesh upon all men to do and carry out with exactly the course of events, how and when he deems. And we know, according to prophecy, that these people are going to fucking, they're going to cause mayhem in these cities and societies. Let's get this other one real quick. It's from Al Jazeera as well. At least 150,000. That's a lot of people. Protest in Berlin against Germany's far right. Demonstrators march in German capital and other cities in the fourth week of protests against Alternative for Germany Party. Okay, mass demonstrations are taking place in Germany in the fourth week of protests against the far right. This is a whole fucking year. Okay, since day one, right? 1/1/24, January 1st. That's the fourth week. This is the first week of February. Okay, starting off with a fucking bang, and that's all you're gonna see is more signs and uh, signification through the events that are going down. More signs that this place is fucking finished and it's on its way out. All right, when you go into how the people are languishing, let's just pull that real quick, because this is what this is going into. These people are they're fucking languishing, and you think they're just gonna just um you think that they're gonna fucking just sit back and lay down, all right, until their life bar fades out. Okay, no, they're gonna fight back, man. All right, this is Isaiah 24 and Salakia. Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay, these people are fucking languishing, man. Alright? Because the state that the elites caused this place to be in. Alright? Lack of resources, lack of opportunity. And what's that gonna cause? You paint a fucking lion into a corner, alright? Or even a goddamn rat, right? A rodent, and he's gonna get vicious on you. Okay? So these people, they indeed are gonna continue these uprisings and uproars into the point of violence. And that's how this place is gonna fucking go down. Just through violence. Let's go into this word language, because when you go into it and define it in the standard definition like Oxford's and shit, it says to lose or lack vitality. All right. Language means to be weak, to droop, to be exhausted. And that's exactly what it is. The people have become fucking exhausted, man. And right before they croak, right? Metaphorically and literally, because the Most High, he's gonna get two birds with one stone. A lot of these people, he don't even fucking want them. So he's going to cause them to get in this spirit, to destroy each other, to destroy the Most High's targets and each other, so so he can weed them the fuck out too. All right, because best believe the Most High's men and his chosen aren't going to be uh, getting their hands filthy and dirty in this time, so to speak. Okay, they will righteously in the time of the threshing. All right, to be fucking feeble, it says to wax feeble. Implication to be sick and to mourn. All right, the mourning is at an all-time high, and that's why it's going to cause the people to fucking to retaliate. Okay, let's finish this article off and grab these precepts. It says approximately 150,000 people took to the streets of the capital, Berlin, on Saturday, police said. Similar protests were also taking place in cities including Dresden and Hanover, in a sign of growing opposition to the far-right Alternative for Germany party. Okay, and we know that these parties, these political systems, right, the different factions and the different opposing sides were created by the elites. All right, it's not only an illusion of choice, but for division. Okay, because through division is um, one of the main ways is that these cities are going to be wasted. Okay, it's like it was like a perfect agenda for the elites and the Most High to have the people weed each other out to thin the herd, because we know that they've always had on the books eugenics agendas, um, agendas that are surrounded around thinning the herd. Another word for that is depopulation, depop, okay, or culling, just like fucking cattle to keep the numbers down. We know that in accordance with the Georgia Guidestones. Um, one of that's the first tenet of the Georgia Guidestones is to keep the Earth's population down to a certain number. Not even a bill, too. So he has in his plans to kill a lot of fucking people, but ultimately it was the plan of the Most High. Okay. Talks about Egyptian going against Egyptian. Well, guess what? The people and citizens in all these different countries are going to go against each other, too. And it's heavy because just as America has been like a fucking beacon of wickedness, has been the example and the pretty much the structure to follow for all these different countries of wickedness, the wicked philosophies and doctrines and even political system and different ways this shit is run, that these other countries have mirrored, and just in that fashion they are going to be influenced by the uh the the civil disturbances, if you will, right? The people, the division of this nation, the people going at each other's fucking throats, is going to translate to these other fucking countries too, man. Okay, right, and along in alignment with that whole concept of Americanization. You think they're just going to take all the Mo shit and all the wicked ass philosophies, women's empowerment, and all this other shit, and not the violence when it comes, man? All right. This in Second Edges 9. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So these indeed are indicators, signs that we are in the time of the Most High's visitation. Okay? And what does that mean? That he's going to come and give this place a blessing? Okay? and he's gonna dub this place a kingdom that was fashioned after his laws and ordinances? Absolutely not. Okay, he's gonna visit this place through destruction, which the scriptures um, notoriously speak of the judgments of the Heavenly Father. Okay, how they come straight from Him. All right, the tempest, the storm, the different methods and ways that He fucking puts men and His creation to death. All right, that's what we see, and that's how you can tell of the times that we're in through measuring them, measuring the prophecies with the current events, and we can fucking see it plain and clear through all the indicators the Most High gave us, but one major one being the uproars and uprisings of the fucking people, man. And it's really not rocket science. It's that alone just shows you the people's fucking dissatisfaction. That's what a protest is, man. They're 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 protesting. Let's get that. It's pretty much like you're attesting against it. Let's get it. It's like you trying to butcher that shit. Let's get it in the Eddie. Eddie. Protest means to which is forth or publicly, to assert. Okay. Testare, which is to assert or to witness. Okay. Make a solemn declaration. It said forward, hence, solemn declaration to declare publicly. Okay. There it is. A statement of disapproval, a solemn or formal declaration against some act or course of action. Okay. The adjectival sense of expressing of dissent from or rejection of prevailing social, political, or cultural mores. Okay, so it's a statement and a declaration of disapproval or dissatisfaction, man. Say we're not going to stand for this fucking shit, and you're going to have to kill us, uh, um, or prevent us from killing you. Just like in the time of the French Revolution, when the motherfuckers said, "Fuck it, we're going to storm the Bastille. We're going to run up into these niggas' courts and the castles and start putting them the fuck to death." And you'd be fucking stupid to think that that's not coming around and right back around the cycle again for this place, the Great Babylon, and worse. Okay, and that was a bloody fucking revolution. All right. It says, "Then when there shall be seen up earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world." Okay, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So he spoke of these uproars that were coming and these earthquakes, right? But why would those be two main headers? All right, to show you the significance of these protests and uproars, the significance with it ushering in the end. Okay, this is a major event in the biblical prophetic timeline of the course of events that's going to phase out the great Babylon and this entire global Edomite regime. Okay, it says, "For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." So if you break this down, the breakdown for this, and it's fucking obvious, is that these uproars of the people, when you start to see these uproars of the people in this greater intensity, just like the earthquakes, right? Talked about in diverse places. When you go into that, it goes into with greater intensity and with greater frequency. So they're just like these, and the same is the case for the protests. They're happening more frequently and more intense, meaning a higher turnout. More fucking people are coming to these things, right? More protesters, bigger, bigger demonstrations. Okay, and it's gonna come and get into a fucking breaking point. All right, let's get this word uproar. This is in the AV 1611. Great tumult, a violent disturbance. Okay, it says a bustle and clamor. Okay, so these uproars are indeed going to turn violent. Okay, just like they did back in the day. Those protests and demonstrations were characterized by bloodshed. All right, and the same is the case now, even worse, because you have worse and more deadly and dangerous killing instruments than they had back in the day. Okay, and it's simply the case that we're in the time of the end. Okay, it's gonna be a fucking an ultimate clusterfuck of destruction in that time. Just a blitzkrieg of of multiple, countless forms of ultimate destruction. Okay, it says horror thus prevailed, and wild uproar. It's going to be a horror, man. And it's time that we're coming into the word uproar in the etymology means an outbreak of disorder, revolt, or commotion, tumult, riot, literally a stirring up. Okay? So the Most High, you understand the Most High controls the spirits of all his creation. He's turning up the spirits in all flesh, okay, for a certain purpose. The elect, in the spirit of diligence and obedience, all right, and the rest of the fucking people in the way of disorder, okay, to revolt and to protest, and eventually, ultimately, to cause a violence. This is going to be a violent disturbance, okay. I'm finishing off because this place cannot fucking stand. It's in the process of implosion. This is in Mark 3 and 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. So this place cannot stand. All right. Once it crosses over into the realm and the point of no return, it cannot and will not bounce back. Okay. It's gonna continue to fucking plummet. It's gonna continue to um to go hyperdrive into the abyss. And that's what we see right now. That we see the rate of these things, of this destruction, increasing, skyrocketing, really. Okay, to where they can't keep up. They can't to get this shit under wraps. All the different ways and methods that this place is fucking crumbling and collapsing, man. And one of the major forms is through these uprisings of the people, which was really what that whole shit was for. The when you look at shit like the Second Amendment and the your the right to assemble and all this shit, it was to go against the government at the pretty much at the point where the government has gone into a point of overreaching. Pretty much they have overstepped their fucking bounds, man. And now they're going it's the government has become oppressive. Okay. Well, basically these protests are to go against the government and this whole all those fucking laws that he set up, but he doesn't fucking enforce, and he doesn't abide by. But all those laws that were set up, the right to assemble, the Second Amendment right, it was to fucking put checks and balances and to overthrow the fucking government at the point when they got to be too oppressive and overreaching, all right, overstepped their fucking bounds. And at the point when they didn't support the people. And exactly what the fuck this is. This is showing that the system is fucking broken, all right, and it's about to be wiped away, done away with, man. This is these are tokens of the destruction of this entire fucking system, all the societies of this planet, man. All right, indeed, ushering in the end, which is really the beginning of an eternal, infinite kingdom that the whole world is fucking groaning for, ultimately. All right, all praises that he's ushering this thing in. All right. So with that, call halal, him, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kadash, Shalom.